All right, folks, back here on the Bossman show here at Robert Jones, coach of Norfolk State Spartans out of the MEAC conference. Coach Jones, first of all, how you and your family doing, man, through all this COVID crisis, man?
Everybody doing okay. Everybody's safe and sound so far. Thank God, and just trying to continue to be safe and sound in these times.
Now, Coach, let's go back to March at the MEAC tournament, man, when you all found out when everything was getting shut down. I know for me, it was my birthday, March 11th, when the Hawks and Knicks shut down. I got the text messages, we're going to suspend the season. And since my birthday, it's kind of been crazy. I know y'all in the MEAC tournament going on. So how was it for you and your team, and whole experience, and especially for your seniors who got to hit in on that kind of a note there?
I mean, it was tough for them. I think that the day that they shut down the MEAC tournament, we were supposed to play a couple hours later. We never played one game in the tournament. So, we were supposed to play that night as our opening game in the quarterfinals. But we never played. And we knew during the day that it wasn't going to happen because we had shoot around that day for the game. But then after shoot around, we started seeing, league after league after league canceling. So we knew it was just a matter of time if we were next. We were hoping that maybe we would have played, but once everybody else canceled, we was the last one standing. And it was like, they got to cancel now. So it was over with that. But just having that conversation with the guys, and it's not just the seniors especially, that they won't have a chance to go to the NCAA tournament, but those young guys who put in a lot of work. Last year we had a team that we had 10 new guys, and we kept progressing over the season. And we had, we were going into that tournament on a 3-game winning streak. And, we were like the highest rated, team, like as far as RPI net ranking in the conference heading into the MEAC tournament. So although we weren't the number one seed, we were one game out of first place. We had the highest ranking and the momentum going into the tournament. So we were looking forward to the tournament. But, once again, we couldn't do it. It crushed everybody, coaches, players, seniors, freshmen, everybody. It crushed.
And I know this played a big role for your academic advisor, because getting guys going to be from on campus to now going virtual, that transition had to be hard for some of the guys who are used to that structure, being on campus with you guys in that flow of study halls and the help you have on campus. So academic advisor played probably a big role in getting your young men to do the spring semester and the summer here as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think them and us, we had to make sure we keep up with these guys too, because now, like you said, it's not, it's easier when a kid knows that if he misses class that you might go run him, outside on a track or something like that for missing class, but it's a little harder when, if he misses something and he's 500 miles away from you. It's a little tougher to try to have that same punishment. But academic advisors did a great job. The coaching staff, did a great job, and we were able to. Our team GPA was almost 3.2. It was 3.195 last semester with during the pandemic. So that was good for us.
And that just shows how your young men, are responsible and accountable, because, it's easy during that time to get back home, like you said, coach, and know where I can not doing the assignment, even though you probably show up on Blackboard still, but, the accountability factor is not as there because you're not on campus. So if you're a young man to come through that strong for you like that with a over B average, man, kudos to them for sure.
Yeah, without question. So it was definitely a good semester for us. Academically, it was a good semester.
Now, Coach, so with the guys being at home, I'm pretty sure your strength and conditioning coach played a big role too, because, guys not made to get to a hoop. You want them to be in some kind of physical condition, and they're going to be in tip-top shape as they come back to campus here real soon. But it's like, how did that go? Trying to keep guys, give them workouts, kind of do stuff where they don't have a hoop and in the home and walking and running, stay in some kind of shape during this whole time of shutdown.
Well, the strength and conditioning coach has been very influential in setting exercises and things like that. We've also set up something ourselves. We use the Nike Run Club app, that is free, and we put up challenges, whether it's this week do 5 miles, this week do 3 miles, whatever the challenge is, so we can know that the guys are doing something and they have to record it, in the app. I guess that's free knowledge to any coaches out there that's trying to figure out a way to, keep their guys in condition. You can use the Nike Run Club app. So that's that's for free right there, that little tip right there. So we've used it, and just to keep the guys something going. You got to keep them in some kind of shape. They're not going to be in the shape that they should be in exactly, but you don't want them to get so far out of shape that's going to take forever for them to get in shape.
Most definitely, Coach. You know, during this time, Coach, I know you probably had to talk to you guys about being responsible, saying no when you want to say yes to certain things because you know I was once beginning accountable as a team because you know if you only got to get too sick or get a family member sick because I want to go out and have some fun or the barbecue or whatever the case may be. So how have you been trying to stress to your guys that about even though you're young, this thing can still bother you and cause you some lasting damage if it's not taken care of properly?
I mean, that's the toughest part sometimes because these kids, sometimes young kids, they're invincible to what's going on, and you're not, there's COVID affects people of all ages. Of course, it does affect people older, a little different, but it does affect people of all ages. All ages, people are getting sick. All ages, people are dying. So, you're not oblivious to it because you're 18, 19, 20 years old. And I think some of these young guys think that. So we've been just trying to be conscious as far as like educating them on how serious this is. Like I tell people all the time, like I'm not necessarily running from the disease, but I'm not scared of the disease, but I'm not running to it either, though. And stuff like that. So I wear my mask. When I'm in public places, I encourage them to do the same. I got my hand sanitizer. I wash my hands. I do everything that I'm supposed to do to try to avoid as much as possible the disease.
Especially like you said, like right here in Atlanta, like Georgia State's quarterback's out for the year with the heart issue that he had from COVID-19. So like guys their age are affected by it. I know some of the Big Ten had a report saying about the biggest fear about guys who had asymptomatically was the heart issue still, the heart muscle enlargement. So and that can affect the guy running up down the court or a field. If your heart's a little bit enlarged, that can end badly for you. So I hope the young men out here listening to the show today will understand that, hey, even though you're young, it can still have a lasting effect. If you don't have any, quote, symptoms per se, it's still doing something to you internally.
Yeah, without question. I mean, that new thing that they find out about the heart, even though, like you said, you can walk around in the actual COVID, you're not coughing or you're not, lost taste or smell or anything like that. But then the long-term effect with the heart disease is a scary thing. So, just trying to make sure everybody is as safe as possible. We realize that probably throughout the course of a year, and we hope that it doesn't happen. But someone might catch it, unfortunately, because that's just so easy to catch. But we're trying to do everything that we can to educate the guys on precaution, and also precaution once they get around other college students, that are non-student athletes. Just trying to have them be the ambassadors to let people know, that to make sure you practice the safe protocols because it could affect everybody. And selfishly, of course, it could affect the student athletes, tremendously.
And coach, looking at everything here with recruiting wise. Have you ever been expanding your reach? Because everybody's using Zoom now. So if you've been able to get into different areas now, not having to travel, you can just Zoom them and show them like the campus virtually now. Talk to the family virtually here. So how's that Zoom recruiting been for you guys, and how's it helped you in your future classes here coming up?
It's been interesting. It's been tough too, because at the same time, you want to sit down and look somebody in the eyes, and really try to get a feeling, and have them look at you in your eyes so you can see the passion of you. I think sometimes, the passion or way a kid is or demeanor doesn't really fully come across in Zoom as when they're sitting on the couch in your office, and you can really talk to them. So that's been tough in that regard. Now, financially, of course, it's been easier because we haven't had to use a lot of the budget to do anything, recruiting wise. And then I do think that people are, becoming more receptive of Zoom, recruiting and things like that. So it's not so far-fetched. I mean, I know we've done, the podcast before together and stuff like that. So, I definitely took the call, but I'm zoomed out, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I'm zoomed. Like we do a lot of Zoom stuff, it's cool for what it is. But you definitely want to get that in-person contact.
Most definitely, from my side, it's good to see you guys rather than on the phone. For me, it's good. I mean, for me, the Zoom thing was like, oh yeah, you can do Zoom now via from your house. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
I ain't got to go downtown no more. Cool. I can see people now. Okay, cool. So they set me up with. So I like to get able to see you guys now and talk to you that way now. But yeah, man, I feel you, man. I can feel you being zoomed out for sure. And now, Coach, you talked about the budget here. I'm worried about the HBCU schools, especially smaller schools, because, like, look here, man. Let's be real about it. I've seen some of these contracts for games, and I know what they are. They loaded with these COVID clauses, and if you have fans, if you don't have fans, and men's basketball and women's basketball and football, the money raising schools for HBCU schools for the most part, the revenue wise, covering everybody. So I know the season might be pushed back to Thanksgiving. So how is that being sent down with your AD and people around the budget about, if the guarantee games are not there for you guys, how y'all gonna kind of get through this year, man, if they take that away from you guys to recoup that money down the road?
I think credit to, I know I'm not quite sure what a lot of other places are doing, and I know there's, different places doing different things, but credit to our institution, I would say, is that there is institutional help to get through this year, because they understand that athletically it's going to be a deficit. It's probably going to be a big deficit athletically. But the institution has helped out with some help covering some of that deficit, so it won't hit us as hard. We haven't we haven't had to drop any sports or anything like that I see some other places have done. So credit to the higher ups at Norfolk State for helping athletics. But it's definitely going to be a deficit. I mean, our season, even though it's going to be probably pushed back a couple weeks, more than likely, you can reschedule some of those games and make some things happen. So we probably won't lose that much revenue. We'll probably lose ticket sales, and I'm not quite sure how many fans and things like that is going to happen. But as far as the games, we'll probably be able to figure that out now. But on the football side of things, that's the tricky part because they had guaranteed games up themselves, and I'm not quite sure if they're going to be able to make up any of those guaranteed games, especially with them not playing to the spring, and then some of the Power Fives are playing now, so it's like they're not going to play now and in the spring, So it's like it's all over the place with that. So we'll see what happens with that.
And Coach John, let's talk about this issue, man. Now that you've been the head coach at HBCU school, a lot of young black men on your roster. So how have you attacked talking to the young men about the social unrest with George Floyd murder, Brown Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Ray Sharp right around my backyard, and other deaths? So how have you attacked that with your young men trying to understand what's going on in our country right now with that side of things as well?
I think what like I've said, and of course, as you probably know, this is a popular question. Any interview or anything like that. But the thing that I say, man, I say it all the time, is that it's being a 41-year-old black man in this country, and teaching, and coaching predominantly African American young men, on my team. This is a conversation that we've had before in the past, before those unfortunate murders of, all those people that you name, George Floyd, and you go down the list, Breonna Taylor, and the shooting of Jacob Blake, and all the other stuff like that, and everything in between, has, we have talked about this before. We talked about this last year, the year before, stuff like that, of just the racial injustice. The thing is that I say is that I think myself, of course, being a little older than them, you kind of grow up and you see different things, growing up, so you kind of seen this story before, and it's like, unfortunately, you almost become numb to it a little bit, and that's unfortunate. But I do think that, like, some of these younger guys, because they play sports, and sports is kind of almost like a racial bridge, like you got black guys, white guys, all on the same court, all on the same field, all on the same team, playing and pulling for each other, that they almost don't realize the full racial injustice that there is in the country. So like now, like they're seeing this stuff up close and personal, is like making them like fired up, and that's why you see like a lot of the millennials marching and protesting and things like that, because like I think honestly sometimes these younger kids almost forgot there was racism, or didn't believe there was racism.
Exactly.
So now that they see it in the forefront, with the technology of camera phones and other recording devices, they're like, wow, that really happens? Like they was like, they almost oblivious to it. And then now it's like right there, and now it's like causing a big uproar among the younger folk. Because like I said, once you get past a certain age, I think you become numb to it, because you've seen this story before. Like, it's unfortunate for all those people that you named, but we can go back 10 years and start naming more people. We can go back 20 years and start naming more people. So it's like, we've had these conversations before. So like, it's really nothing that we're doing so different in this day and age now with these guys than we haven't already talked about with other teams. Only thing now, we just try to make sure if they want to talk to us, we're able to, comfort them a little bit in this situation.
And I know a lot of coaches have talked to me about voting and making sure your team's registered to vote. Is that an initiative you all are pushing for you guys to make sure all you guys registered to vote? Because I know this election is very, very crucial and key for a lot of reasons for our people going forward.
No, without question. That's one of our big initiatives. And I think we almost got everybody so far. We had like 88%, something like that. So we got a couple more guys that got to register. But, like I told people before, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for because that's not my job. But I do think that you've earned the right to vote, so vote for somebody. Go through the next couple months and decide what candidate you want to vote for. I'm not, like I said, I'm not telling anybody to vote who to vote for, anything like that, because I think there's flaws on both of those candidates. Honestly, there's it could be perceived pros on both of those candidates too. So you make your decision, but definitely exercise your right to vote because your ancestors got you that right to vote.
And coach, I'm 33, you're 41, so you know what I'm saying here. Like, for me, I'm the first one in my family to have full rights on paper per se. My father's born in 31, mom born in 41, so I've older parents. But for them, they didn't want both full rights, and I do. So I feel like I have to push this issue for my parents who didn't have it because you and I was born full rights, but our parents were not. So I feel like we got to express it to teach our young men, like, hey, look. It's more than what you think it is because now it's out there again. Some people, like you said, kind of got numb to it and didn't think it happened. And I'm trying to explain racism is subtle, it's systemic. It's not just calling you an N-word, right? It's systemic and more subtle than that. It's more nuanced than that. And I try to tell my white listeners is that unless you know it and deal with it, you ain't gonna see us. Deal with it the way we do. So it's not gonna be like clear cut for you the way it is for us.
Yeah, without question. I mean, I agree. I mean, just like I tell, some of my white counterparts is that I can't tell you how to be a white male. I can't tell you how you feel, being a white male. And you can't really understand how I feel being a black male, honestly. Until we can try to educate each other on both sides. Because, I mean, I can't tell you how it is to be a white male, or they can't tell you, they can't tell me how it is in my shoes. So it's like, when we're trying to educate you on how it is, just listen a little bit, and not think that it doesn't exist, you can take your own views or whatever, but just listen to what's actually, said. Like, listen to like how we feel. Listen to, what we've been through, and don't think that like, oh my God, no way you've been through that. Yeah, yes we have, and stuff. Just because we don't, most of us don't go and cry about it every day. Don't mean we it's not going on and we haven't, been through it. We just try to figure out a way to just navigate through the nonsense, and stuff. So that's all.
Most definitely. Coach Jones, I thank you for your time today, man, on a Friday, man. I appreciate you always coming on the show, man. And we'll definitely do this again down the road, man. I know you zoomed out, man. It was fun to see you, man. Talk to you and see you, man.
For sure, man. For sure. Anytime, man.
All right, folks. It's Robert Jones from the Bossman Show.